Yes, it's too long. Hey everyone. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Within the Cauldron. Today we're going to be talking to Leanne and her assistant, Lauren, I think is her name. And we are going to be talking about her business, Zodiac Tea Room, that is located at 5 Washington Street in Beverly, Massachusetts. So, to further ado, here is Leanne and Lauren.
Hi, I'm Leanne Marrama, and this is Laura. She
Lauren.
is one of the psychic mediums that works here at Zodiac Tea Room. She does tea leaf readings, she speaks to the dead, and she's an accomplished tarot reader.
Hello.
And it is great to be on here. Bright blessings, everyone.
Well, blessings. We've been to Salem and Beverly. It's like a second home. We've been there so many times I lost count. So, just to tell you the truth here, I have been in Zodiac Tea Room, and I was with some people, so I couldn't stay as I wanted to. But we are going back together as mother and daughter to do a mother and daughter vacation for my birthday. I'd be 60 this year, so she's going to treat me to a vacation. Yeah. so we probably will see you in November, hopefully.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Isn't that great? You're going to love it. November is a wonderful time to travel to New England. You're still going to feel that magic of Halloween, but a lot less crowds.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and a lot more exciting energy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I went last year in October and it was just so good.
It's
I
a
couldn't
lot.
get it anywhere.
Yeah.
I was even lucky if I got a coffee.
Yeah.
But Salem is very magical, and so
it's very.
I stayed in Beverly, and I feel like it has the same energy in a way.
Yeah.
So
It does.
Yes.
It really does.
We find-
What we wanted to ask you is about your business, Zodiac Tea Room. So how long have you been in business, and why did you started the business?
Okay, Zodiac Tea Room's been in business for about 3 years. It'll be 3 years this November. And we started the business, especially Zodiac, because we had just created Pentagram, which is like I would call that our flagship store. Tim Reagan and I, we built Pentagram up in, let's say it was October 2020, right in the middle of that pandemic. We started Pentagram. So shortly after that, we thought it would be an amazing idea to start up Zodiac Tea Room. I had just wrote a book called Reading the Leaves with my co-author, Sandra Wright. And it was all about tea leaf reading. I grew up with a grandmother that read tea leaves, and I think in a way Tim wanted to create something that was very like feminine. It's almost it's a very like Victorian feel throughout the store. We highlight his astrological readings. The best astrologer in the entire city, if not in the country, is Tim Reagan. Get a reading with him. He's
Absolutely.
very, very gifted. I can't say
I
enough.
love that.
I can't say enough. I have a lot of pride. He's worked really hard to become that. And this was a place where I think I could do my tea leaf readings and Tim could do astrology. And we didn't have the hustle and bustle and craziness of downtown Salem. And instead of just having little booths where people can only get one person in there at a time, we have whole rooms where we are able to have like parties of six. Of six. Laura does a lot of the tea leaf readings there. What is it like to have like a group reading?
It's amazing. It's so much fun. One of the best things though about group readings is when you say something or you ask something and of someone and immediately they say, "Oh no, no." And in the meantime, everyone is side-eyeing them like, "Are you sure?" So having them
Very
get called out by their friends can actually be hysterical.
Honestly, I love when I do a group reading and there's a lot of like checks and balances, because especially the husbands, the grouchy little husbands that never wanted to come, and you call
Mhm.
them out on their stuff. I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you, that is worthwhile.
I bet.
I love their reactions.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think that's amazing. Like I grew up in my mother's coven, so I've always just known the pagan community, and I've been to multiple medium readings, not for myself, but just for other people around me, and their reactions is priceless.
Mhm.
Oh,
Isn't
yeah.
that great?
Yeah.
Well, that's what's nice about Zodiac. And I think that was the goal of Tim and I. We wanted to be able to host parties, bachelorette parties, birthday gatherings, or just families coming to grieve someone. You can have your own private exclusive seance where we're communicating with only 6 people, so it is very exclusive and it is very like small numbers, so it's very personal and there's no strangers in the group.
Mm.
We also offer individual classes here. You can call up Zodiac and say, hey, I'd like to do a 2-hour workshop, and if there's something specific that you want to learn, we're going to put you with an expert witch or pagan that can help you learn that, whether it is candle magic or how to do tea leaf readings yourself. We are equipped and we have all the
Yeah.
supplies there. You just come, and you spend 2 hours, and there you are. You have this limited special moment with your friends and family. It's very bonding.
I love that.
I do too. I love that.
I love the option that you guys have, like the group reading, like a small group reading, or if
Mhm.
it just wants to be one-on-one, because sometimes you don't want some.
Mhm.
I feel like with readings, sometimes things come up that you don't want others to hear. So I love
Yeah.
that you have that one-on-one
And,
versus group.
you know, I've had a group reading where I started to touch on something with a client that was obviously too personal, and I just immediately moved on to the next person. At the end, I went back to her and I said, "Well, now it's time for your reading." But I
Mhm.
actually had everyone else leave the room.
Yeah, I love that you do
I
that.
do
And
too.
there were things that, because they were there with family members, there were certain things they really wanted to talk about, but didn't feel comfortable with the
Yeah.
people who were with their family knowing certain things about them.
Yeah.
So it just gave them that space to also have that and to be able to have a full, authentic reading.
I'll be like, don't tell my darkest secret, okay?
Listen, we may offer tea leaf readings, but not everyone wants you to spill the tea in front of everyone.
Mhm.
And that is
Yeah.
correct.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. I love that
You
too.
should have that on a shirt.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect. So, if you do have it a shirt though, can you plug in within the
No,
cauldron?
no,
Just
no,
really
no,
teeny
no.
tiny.
That was her quote. That's her.
I know.
That's technically
That
hers.
they heard it here first or so.
Okay, so you read tea leaves. What other
Yes.
divinations do you guys offer? Like there that you offer?
Okay.
I know it's tarot
Well,
cards.
we have tarot readings. We have astrology, different types of astrology where you can get your birth chart done, or you can ask the astrologer a certain question and they can answer it like a horary chart.
Yeah.
We also have psychic mediums, tarot palm readers,
Runes.
runes, and
Runes.
past life readings as well, which is
That's
very
really cool.
interesting. It's
Wow,
very
you
That's
have,
ideas for what me and you should
yeah,
get.
you guys have a lot to offer. I think we definitely going to be there in November just to have a
Yeah.
reading. I don't know which kind because I like them all. But
Then a whole day
That's
with you.
oh yeah, we could spend the whole day just give us a reading, give us another one, give us another one.
Hey,
Okay.
we have cookies and tea. You can sit in our little lounge and we'll feed you.
Absolutely.
Like, tell me more.
Yes.
Yes,
If
you
you
have
have
to.
tea
You
on
have to
there.
think the act of sharing, even if it's just simply a little cookie, it's sharing energy. It's consuming
Yes.
magic together. The term
Mhm.
breaking bread is intimacy, and that's what's so special about Zodiac Tea Room. It is a place of intimacy where you can experience a reading and really get to know your psychic, who can inform you on so many different products that we offer in the store
Yeah.
that it's great. And Zodiac can provide you something that maybe Pentagram can't, because Pentagram has the hustle and bustle of downtown Salem.
Hmm.
Yeah. Now, speaking of your products, because
You.
we saw a YouTube video not probably last week about the Zodiac Tea Room. We only
Yeah.
saw like one video with Leanne. Of course, you was on there about your products. Now, your products
She
are
has soap.
homemade,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
She was
All of the
interested.
what's really great about our products? They're not just homemade here in Salem. The actual recipes for the candles and the soap were created by Tim Reagan, my business partner.
Oh, I love that. That's cool. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
he uses all the correct zodiac signs and the colorating. I can't even talk
Herbal
today. Yeah,
correspondence.
thank you.
Yeah.
The herbal correspondence for the magical oils and the herbs that all work together. And he was able to blend amazing, a wonderful scented candles that have a lot of power. The soap that also energizes and can help cleanse all kind. It like infuses your body.
Mhm.
So we have some really great stuff here. And we also have room sprays that are created by one of the psychics that are right here.
Mhm. That's really cool. I
Wow.
love that.
I do too. I really
Well,
love
I love
that.
anything witchy, so.
Of
Yeah.
course. We both do. She's
Um,
spent all her life as a witch.
Yeah. Well, what I always tell people, because you were talking about like even just sharing food with someone,
Mhm.
is magic. I would
Mhm.
tell people, because a lot of new witches come to me and they're like, Amy, what do I, how can I be a witch? I'm like, magic is everywhere.
Yeah.
Magic is everywhere. The trees, it's the wind, it's the ground we walk on, it's the house we live in. Everything has a story, and everything has magic within. Even yourself has your magic. You just have to let it happen, accept it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful way. I think
Yeah.
I think the
Mhm.
first time I really truly started working, and the first step in witchcraft for me, was years ago. I was always involved in the community, and I feel that I was a very magical person, and maybe identified as a witch.
Mhm.
But I remember Tim asked me a question. He said to me, "Do you love the goddess?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "And then there it is. That's step one." And
Yeah.
recognizing
Mhm.
her love, her
Mhm.
compassion, her
Mhm.
Mhm.
strength, her severity,
Yeah.
all inside of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I
That's
tell
step
people.
one.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Our grandson just said I say goodbye.
He's like, "Bye." I have 4 little boys, so I stay pretty busy.
Oh my goodness, that's a blessing. That's her work. That's
Yeah.
divine work. Raising good men.
Yes, yes. They're all like my 6-year-old, he'll do tarot card readings. He gets into my tarot cards and I don't know who he's reading. He's reading someone though, and he just does readings.
He
He's
closes
very
his eyes and
yeah,
he
it's adorable.
he tells you whatever, and it's
Yeah.
kind of scary in a way.
Well,
But
my 9-year-old knew I was pregnant with my youngest before I knew, and he announced it to the whole school. So
yeah.
witchy children.
Well,
Yeah.
Laura has wonderful witchy children.
I do. I have one that was reading tarot cards, and he kind of stepped back from it for a little while.
Mhm.
I think sort of questioning
Mhm.
when the tarot cards end up being right, it makes him feel a little bit like, whoa, What's
Yeah.
going on here? But then my other one, 13, has just fully dove into it. It has their own tarot cards.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
Yeah.
awesome.
That's cool.
Yes.
That's how I
Yes.
kind of was like as a teenager. I would do readings about my boyfriends. If it was the right boy.
Hmm.
And then I had to
Yes.
step back from him. I'm like, I don't like what it's saying. I like this boy more.
But
As long as
I always tell my children, and I even tell, clients this who are still trying to learn tarot. One of the hardest things for a reader to do, I think, is read for themselves.
yes.
Yes.
Because
I,
I've been reading most of my life, and if I'm too close to a situation and
Mhm.
I put the cards down, it's like I've never seen them before in my
Mhm.
life.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have to go get another reader and I have no idea what's going on because I think we're so close to a situation that then we're just unable to detach our own desires, wishes, wants from that
Mhm.
situation. And we become blind to our own readings.
Very much. I'm glad that you say that because I've been telling people that for years, because everybody always says, how come you want to go to a reader? It's like, because it's hard to read for myself.
Mhm.
And they're like, really? I'm like,
I
yeah,
don't
it is.
Yeah.
personally. I don't like when people that I know like really well to read for me. I
Hmm.
like someone who's going to be non-biased, someone who I
Mhm.
Right.
don't really know but
Yeah.
trust in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes. Because
'Cause
it's the same thing. They have too much information. So
Yeah.
is
yeah.
it foreknowledge or is it true
Mhm.
intuition that they're
Yeah.
asking these questions of things they couldn't possibly know otherwise?
Yeah.
So, and I've
Exactly.
known people who have convinced themselves that they cannot read or that they're
Mhm.
not any good at it. And
Mhm.
I said, why do you think that? And it's because they're trying to read for themselves. I
Yeah.
said, read for your friends, read for your dog, read for
Mhm.
your favorite television character. I don't care, but just don't read for yourself. And then
Right.
see how that starts building your confidence as well.
That's
Absolutely. Absolutely. I tell people, for your listeners out there who want to get involved in starting to read tarot, I tell people to get a deck of tarot, start
mhm.
by getting a deck and picking a card every day
Mhm.
and
Right.
making that your message or your mantra or your lesson for the day. Learn
Yep.
Yeah.
that one card and focus on it, meditate it, and then, you'll start seeing coincidences and messages because the
Mhm.
minute you start poking the universe, it will respond.
And
Yeah.
I always
journaling. I think journaling is a huge thing.
yeah,
If
that's
you
what I was
pick a card, you don't have to understand it in the moment. If you don't, it's fine, but
mhm.
that's still your card. So you shouldn't then continue to pick cards until you understand. Write
Yeah.
the card down in a journal, and then at the end of the day, the end of the week, you look back at those cards and reflect on the week you've had and see how they could have fit in to your
Yeah.
week and experiences.
That's
And
what
read.
I personally do because I work with spirits a lot and stuff. I've always been a sensitive since I've been a young child, and
Mhm.
what I tell people who want to communicate to the dead is to keep a journal about your dreams because sometimes they communicate in your dreams. Any little signs
Absolutely.
that you think might have a connection to it, they
Mhm.
may come up later. Then you'd be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, this makes sense now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As psychic mediums, we see the messages all
Mhm.
the time.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that disregard the simple messages. They disregard the fact that there's a red cardinal. They
Mhm.
disregard seeing 1111. They think that it's just by chance or coincidence. It is not.
Yeah.
When you start acknowledging the
Mhm.
messages, guess what? They come more,
Mhm.
they come louder, and they come stronger. So talk to your dead. They're gonna talk back.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how
Absolutely.
exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
I always tell people too because they're always like, "I'm so scared to talk to spirits." I'm like, just talk out loud. Like
Yeah.
they're right across from you. They'll hear it and they'll come
And
to you.
they're our ancestors, they're our loved ones.
Yeah.
People are afraid of ghosts. It's like, well, these are people.
Yeah.
These are the people around you who loved you.
Mhm.
So there's no reason to fear. They don't want to harm us. They want to lend that positive energy and love they still have for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very true. Yeah, we do a lot of paranormal too. We have spoken
Well,
to.
I'm creating, okay, for Within the Cauldron, I wanted to connect other witches and and create a safe space of people of all religions, not just witches, pagans, just anybody who is maybe interested in paganism or witchcraft. I don't want them to be
Or
scared.
Druidism. We have Druids, some
Or
Buddhists.
we have some Satanists in the group too. I just feel like ignorance creates fear, and I don't want that for people. So, and even with the paranormal experiences, I'm like, I know how it is to be scared, terrified in your bed as a young child, as a teenager. So I wanted to connect other people so they wouldn't be fearful, and they have other people they can talk to. Like, we've even had people ask for birth charts. Now we can point them to your guys' direction, be like, hey, we know someone who can do it.
Yeah.
So
Now,
That's
do you do
amazing.
anything online? I mean, can somebody contact the website and ask, for a reading for online or a chart?
Absolutely. People can sign up online at Zodiac Tea Room and book appointments. We are open 7 days a week right now from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And on Fridays and on Saturdays, we're open till 8 p.m. And we do Zoom readings and phone readings, and we're able to really get through it. It's amazing how effective a Zoom reading is. The energy just kind of travels through electricity, the internet. It's the connections can still happen. I've felt very connected to a lot of my clients that I do Zoom readings with. And some of our psychics are mediums and some of them are not. You can be a psychic, but not necessarily a medium. So you should specifically ask if you want mediumship. Make sure you clarify to the person you're talking to that's what you're looking for.
How about your classes that you have at the tea room? Do you have those online too
Or
if they
they-
want to
Not right,
join?
not right now, but we will be having workshops available starting, I would say, in the fall, September. And I'm going to be doing some Sunday workshops, and hopefully we'll get them up online as well. And I'll be teaching tea leaf reading and mediumship, and hopefully Tim will be willing to teach us a little bit more about palm reading and tarot. And we have Laura who's going to be teaching some classes as well.
A spell casting class, I think will be the first one. Mostly because I see so much online of people who would say, I need a spell for this. I need a spell for this. And I'm like, no, you need to craft your own spell, because just because something works well for me doesn't mean it's going to necessarily work well for someone else. It's about, on one hand, what resonates with you, but also knowing your materials and what energy they resonate with, and respecting
Right.
that energy. So thinking what it is that you need, what ingredients would resonate with that energy to help us boost that spell, the method of crafting that spell, and then things like planetary times and alignments to just give it more energy. So you are knowing what it is you need and then being able to choose the things you need to make that happen. In crafting your own spell, that gives it even more power because it's all from you.
Right.
I love that.
I do
I
too.
agree completely with that. 'Cause we have a lot of people come to us about spells.
Oh, yeah.
And I always tell them, your magic is, powerful. Just use it. It's going to work the best for
Yeah.
you.
Not to be
Absolutely.
afraid, because a lot of
Yeah.
people is afraid of magic. They're afraid when they start doing magic, they back off because, like, oh my gosh, did I do that? I don't want to do that. I'm afraid of it or something. And I always tell people, don't be afraid of it. Let it through, just let it flow, because it's always been with you. You just have to just say, hey, wake up. I'm here. Let's do magic. So,
And we always ask when we do magic too that it be for the good of all,
mhm.
right? So people, when you think about witches and cursing people, maybe you have a very difficult neighbor. Maybe you curse them with prosperity. Maybe they get a brand new job offer in a faraway city, right? So
Yeah.
they are now no longer your problem because they've moved away, but it's
Mhm.
also a benefit to them. It's for the good of all. So we always ask that our actions be for the good of all, that they be right with the universe. And really, spells, witchcraft, it's praying with flair,
I
right?
love
It's finding
It
things that
is.
resonate on this
Mhm.
plane, as above, so below. So we
Yeah.
find those things that resonate just to magnify that prayer we're putting into the universe.
I've always called, let's call a spell a laser beam. You have a prayer, and a prayer is almost like a blanket, but a
Mhm.
spell is a precise laser beam that hits the thing that you need. And we've all feared our own strength at different times in our lives. I
Mhm.
know I have. I've feared my own will and my own power. And I think when you do magic, you're making a statement in the universe that
Mhm.
you are to be heard. That can be scary for a lot. And a lot of the magic we can do can just be communicating with higher power, with the universe, with the nature around us, with all the elements. Because when you are in touch with the divine, maybe you don't even need to cast a spell. Maybe if you had a relationship with the four elements, with the goddess, maybe you
Mhm.
don't even need to light a candle. Maybe you can save the candle for your birthday cake. I don't know.
Save the candle. I love that. I
Well,
always tell
that is
people to
true.
like just walk around, outside. You'd be surprised what you see, even
Mhm.
indoors, like you see a dandelion, a dead dandelion, make a wish.
Yeah.
Simple magic can be just as powerful. Get a piece of
Mhm.
paper, write your symbol down that what you are trying to manifest, put it underneath your
Mhm.
pillow. It doesn't have to be the most expensive things out there for
Yep,
magic.
a great spell for court cases. Put a crown with a little gold pen crown on a bay leaf. Put that in your shoe, or draw the scales of justice on it and put that in
Yeah.
your shoe when you go to court. Very simple things.
Yeah.
Again, that energy resonates.
Or
Yeah.
if someone's talking bad at you, write their name on or
Mhm.
put it piece of paper, put it in your shoe, walk them off.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. You don't always have to use baneful magic and everything. I know some people are really into that. I don't ever want to wish harm upon anyone. But you can just do simple things like that. It
Mhm.
doesn't have
Yeah.
to be. Let's give them the worst thing ever. But
Well, we only
Is
got a few minutes left. Any last words? Because I know Laura has a reading to
she,
do.
she has a reading, and I have to go and I don't know.
no,
Who
you're
knows? Make a cup of tea. Um,
Make a cup of tea.
tea's good.
Tea is good.
tea is good. Tea is
So,
magic.
Yeah.
If anyone is interested in getting a reading, please contact Zodiac Tea Room. If you want to know more about magic, I wrote a book with Sandra Wright called Lighting the Wick. And if you want to know more about tea leaf readings, we wrote Reading the Leaves, and you can get that at either Pentagram Shop or it's available on Amazon. But mostly, I do want to leave you all with this. If you want to do magic, just remember that the greatest form of magic is love.
Oh, I love that.
absolutely. Yes. I love
That's
that.
amazing.
I love that. Leanne will be on with us next month as we interview her with the pentagram and also dive into her books that she wrote too with Sandra. And maybe Tim would join us. I don't know, but it'd be nice
It
to
would be nice. That would be a nice surprise.
it
Yeah.
will be a nice surprise. But until next time, thank you so much, Laura and Leanne, for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
It was
Thank you
lovely.
for having us.
Oh,
Brightest blessings.
Yes.
you too.
Yeah.
And to the audience, subscribe, like, and share. And go to the zodiactearoom.com is down below, going across the screen. And, talk to Leanne and Laura. I'm sure they'll be able to help you with everything you need. Until then, blessings.
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 Blessings.